Yes, this is a hike that was 8.5 years in the making. This is where I got this from. It was leaning up right in here. It's home. What's going on? I'm going to be completely honest, the title and thumbnail of this are probably complete clickbait. We got a butterfly. Oh, a couple butterflies. Lots of bees. Very nice. Yes, this is a hike that was 8.5 years in the making, and something is going home. This walking stick is going home. I am at Frances Slocum State Park, and this walking stick I have originated here, up on the other side of the lake here. There's some ruins up there. We're going to check those out. And one of the first hikes I did at my old house I just moved out of, I don't know if it was the first, but it was one of the first. It was here. And I'll put a link to the video down in the description. It's interesting to see how much my videos have changed in 8 years. Completely different style. I think I used a head mount GoPro and just hiked through. But while I was out here, I found this walking stick, and I thought, this is really cool. A really cool walking stick. I'll take it home. Maybe I will do some whittling to it, and I'll do it up. I think I just missed my turn. Oh, this just comes down to a bench. And I thought that's what I would do. And I took it home. I put it by my front door. And there it sat for 8 years. So I'm going to bring it back up here, hike across up to those old ruins where I found it, and I will put it back, take it home. I just moved the last of my stuff out of my old place last night. Had a few odds and end things there. So I went over there, took out all the cardboard that I had to put out because today is cardboard collection day in town, and grabbed a blast of stuff, and that was sitting by the door, and figured it's time to bring it back. Should have brought the kayak. It's gorgeous, but I do have other stuff to do. I just got the Hemlock Mountain Outdoor Shop done last night, and did a couple test things to make sure everything's working good, and I will just probably work most of the weekend, start getting orders out. If you got an order in and you've been waiting, I do apologize. I'm going to show the hike here, but I will talk about a little bit about the move, why I moved, and how kind of crazy it's been, and it was unexpected. So I'll talk about that a little bit. Let's look at how beautiful this is. It is August. It's mid-August. It looks, feels, and sounds like mid-August. So, let's hike. There's my trail split. Look at the size of this tree. This thing is humongous. Massive tree. Like that's like 4 trees. Like even this little branch is the size of some trees. Massive, massive, massive tree. Don't know where that trail goes. Chipmunk. Hi. He's probably not sure. He's right on that vine coming down. Alright, come up the second bridge. See if there's any water in this. A little bit. A little bit of water. This is one of the main feeds of the lake, so you'd hope there'd be water in that. Now we're gonna come up to an old road. I don't know what this used to be. It used to just be for the farm that was here, an old farm road, but it's paved, or was paved. We used to go across the lake, where the lake is now. But this was another man-made lake that they did for flood control, I think back in the 50s, I think. I'd have to look that up, I'm not sure. It makes sense. That's when a lot of these were put in. Yeah, so here's the old road. So what I think I'll do is we'll go start this way and come back from that direction. Alright, so this is one of my favorite spots of this hiking in this park, is this little concrete pad causeway style water crossing. It's really cool. I'm trying to think of anywhere else where I've seen something like this, and it's just not coming to mind. Like rocks, or maybe like some logs, but not like this. Like this is deliberately done like this. This is really cool. There have been times where this has been open enough I've been able to kayak up to this. And right before I turned on the camera, there's a really bright green frog right on the concrete. I just missed hitting the record button. But there's a good chance we'll see some more. Not a bad spot, if I do say so. I'm not camping here tonight, although Frances Slocum is one of the state parks in the area. I would say probably has the nicest car camping, the nicest state park camping. Like there's places that have more scenic campgrounds, or maybe bigger or more modern. But I think that Frances Slocum's, the way they got it set up, the 3 different loops, one loop has electric, it's a little more modern. The second loop is just for non-electric car camping. And the third loop is just walk-in sites, and they're not near the parking lot, where most of them aren't. I think it splits it up nicely. It's usually very clean and quiet. Very, very nice. And then you got all these hiking trails around here. You could stay here for a couple days and hike and kayak and just hang out at camp. Gonna head down to the lake, hang hard right, and head up the trails up over this ridge here. Now, I looked at the map. These ruins are not marked. Another massive pine. Look at the size of these things. Huge. These are old growth pines. Some of them. I mean, some of them are obviously newer, but some of these old ones, these big ones, whew, wow. Okay, sidetracked. Yeah, these ruins aren't marked on the map. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out why. It's a really nice hike. There's nothing technical about this hike. There's a little distance. I'm not tracking it, but I think it's only about a mile to get around to here from the main parking lot. It's not bad, and part of it's this road. So we'll get down here, see if we can find them again. So we're coming up to where the road ends at the lake. And you can see right across is like the Environmental Education Center. And then the park roads are right on the other side of that. So I guess at some point this went all the way across. That would have been a creek at the time. It's probably a little bridge. But now it just ends here. This is really grown up. Last time I was down here, you could see the water from here. This is kind of open. Let's go down these two massive pines. Take a look across the lake. Kind of surprised nobody's here fishing. Are those water bugs? Look at that. That's cool. So, right in there is where I'm parked. We just walked up that side, out and around. And the campground is on the other side of that hill. So this lake is like a V. It goes out, goes around that point, and then comes back. So on the other side of this hill is the other side of the lake, and then the campground is on the other side. It really makes like two separate parks. It's pretty cool. Last time I was here, actually I shouldn't say the last time I was here, but when I was out here and I did the hike where I picked up this walking stick, this forest was absolutely infested with woodpeckers. I don't know if it's coming out. Of course, you just stopped. On the other side of the lake, I think that's a Cooper's hawk I'm hearing. It could be a woodpecker. They make a very similar call. And it's not really clear with the rustling in the trees, but it could be either or. They both have kind of like a laughing call. No, that's a woodpecker. Now I can hear a little clearer. It's definitely a woodpecker. There's all kinds of trails. This looks like an old trail that goes through. That's the trail we're taking. All kinds of opportunities here for fishing and wildlife watching and birding. Gorgeous. I'm gonna grab myself a snack, eat while I'm hiking, and see if I can remember which trail takes me up these ruins. I know exactly where I got the stick from. There's like a old gate, like a wall where there used to be a gate. The gate's not there anymore. And it was leaning up against that right at the beginning of the ruins. That's what I'm looking for right now. So that is like a fishing trail. The main trail is up a little bit higher, parallels it, but I think that fishing trail is a much nicer trail. Kind of remember going up along this stone wall. I don't think I went to the next one. Let me look at a map, see exactly where I am, and get an idea. I think this is the way I want to go. Okay, yes, I think this is the trail I want. The map shows it, at least the way it is on Maprika, shows it being back down that way a little bit and then going up. But I just think it's plays strong on the trail, or on the map. This looks familiar. I think we'll run into another trail here off on the right with what looks like stone walls running almost like a boulevard. If this is the right spot, or if I'm remembering correctly. Which you never know. I've hiked in a lot of places. Sometimes they start to look the same and I kind of forget. Oh, here we go. So stone wall, going into what looks like the boulevard. Yes, this is the right spot. Yeah, and here's the other trail. Looks like it goes off to the right. So I was on the deer trail. This is the upper deer trail. Yes. I did go to the right spot. How about that? And you can see, we're starting to see remnants of an old farm. This is really cool. And if you also notice, take a good look around. What don't you see? Anybody else? I think if people knew this was back here, you'd have more people visiting it and checking it out. What did I just hear? That sounded suspiciously like a porcupine in that tree. I don't see one up there. Could be hiding on the other side. I don't want to mess with them. That's where I'd be hiding if I was a porcupine. Okay, so that's the first little section there. Then we'll come up to another spot like this. It's got way more intricate walls and little alleys and stuff like that. Cool. Right, not far down the trail. You can see more stone walls here. But I do remember this little side trail is really faint. But I think when I get up here, get into those ruins, it goes up on top of that and you can come back down that side. kind of want to go up that, but I want to go back up to this gate, or what looked like it was probably a gate at some point. All right, here we are. Less gate-like than I remember. I kind of thought that was narrower, but this is where I got this from. It was leaning up right in here. It's home. Now it may have rotted away out here by now if someone didn't use it as a hiking stick in the weather, but it's back where it belongs. All right, hiking stick, sorry to have kept you for so long. Let's go check out these ruins. So up there to the end is where that rock face is. Little road went down here. This is that back wall. And this is quite the extensive compound. Another trail goes down. I don't think that's on the map. This part of the wall is getting pushed over by the tree. More goes up there. So judging by the way this is all grown over and how it's kind of shrubby, I would guess, I could be wrong, I would guess that this at one point was a field, either for cattle or maybe for crop, and it turned meadow, and this is its next stage, where you get all the small, fast-growing, sun-loving trees. And then as that matures, you'll start to get some more conifers in there if it gets enough water. And it'll return to a more natural forest. These leaves look tired. That almost looks like oak, but I don't know if it is. I'm not sure what kind of tree this is. It's got 7 lobes, maybe 9 lobes. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lobes. I don't know. If I get a better picture of one of the leaves, I can use, was that the same thing? No, it's not the same thing. Get a picture of one of those leaves. I can use, here we are. Here's one. Here's a little tiny one. Good picture of these. So I'll show you something pretty cool. This is a Pixel phone. And when I've got something that I don't know what it is, I can go into the photo gallery. And down at the bottom it says lens. I click on that. As long as I got signal, it will. Oh, it is an oak. Bur oak. Okay, so there's white oak. Maybe a white oak. I don't think we have bur oaks around here. White oak makes more sense. That looks like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. White oak. A little hiking hack for you. I used to know my trees a lot better when I was younger. And kind of forgot. I know the main ones that we have around here, the hemlocks and the maples and the birches and aspens and firs and pines and red pines and white pines. Also, but some of the other ones that we don't see as often around here, kind of forgot about them. The hickories we don't see much anymore. Chestnuts are pretty much gone. But in a couple months, these woods are going to be all different colors. Warning. I'm going to put chapters in this video. If you want to skip over my little rant about my move, go down the chapter. It's probably about 8 minutes. 7 or 8 minutes. So I'll put a chapter down there and you can just skip right over it. Alright. So about the move. Seems like a fitting place to talk about that. Because this reminds me a lot of my old house. I've lived in that house for 8.5 years. And when I first moved in, different landlord. Her and her husband, they're both in their 70s. Bought the property to fix up the houses. It was 5 units, 3 standalone houses and one duplex. And they bought it to fix them up and rent them for a while, then sell them when the market was right, and then they were just going to travel the world with the money. Nothing wrong with that. Well, her husband started working on the houses, and he passed away. She didn't want the houses. So when I first moved in, she told me right off the bat, probably going to sell these places. You know, told me the story. It took 4 years for her to sell the houses. They were old, 100 years, 100 plus years old, depending on the house. And she would do, if something major happened, she would take care of it immediately. Smaller stuff, maybe, maybe not. She didn't want to spend the money on them, which is kind of understandable. She had a handyman, and he did an okay job, a passable job. And then she sold the house. And the new guy bought the house, and he was like, these are all going to get fixed. Specifically said to me, yours is the first house to get fixed. Because at the time, it was the nicest one. And he wanted us to sign blank leases so he could go to the bank and show him that he had leases so you get a loan. He wound up getting a loan, but also wound up getting a property manager. And the property manager was his realtor who sold him the house. The realtor convinced him to take the money he was going to use to fix these houses and buy more houses that I think she was selling and she wanted to get out of because the tenants weren't paying their rent. So he bought these houses that needed a massive amount of work, which had tenants in them that weren't paying their rent, and that money just disappeared. So he got rid of her, got a different property manager. This guy wound up being a convicted felon. And if you remember back a couple of years ago, I was talking about the squirrels that got into my house and did all the damage inside the house. That was the guy that was in charge during that. He used sheet metal, chicken wire, and spray foam to fix the side of my house. It took him a month to do that. Never really fixed it, never came back and checked it. And for a while, I thought maybe the landlord and this guy were in cahoots because the landlord wasn't doing anything about it. And I was getting ready to pack up my stuff and move. I was going to put my stuff in storage. I was going to go to Arizona for a while and then come back and find a new spot. Just before I did that, the landlord's like, oh, getting rid of the property manager. New property manager's coming in. So I thought, great, I'll stick around. Maybe I'll get some work done. That property manager was in charge for from February, the end of February of 2021 until the end of April of 2022. Not once, not ever, never did I meet this woman or her partner. Never met them. They never came to my house. They never knocked on the door. They didn't know what kind of shape the house is in. I could have walked up to them. They wouldn't know who I was. So, of course, nothing got done. So the house just gets worse and worse. There was things inside it needed to get fixed that were just getting worse, and the outside was just falling apart. Because you can't have a 100-year-old house that's got wood siding that you're not painting and expect it to stay in one piece. So he fires her and says that he's going to take on all the work himself. At this point, my porch is getting in really bad shape. it's all like plywood decking is starting to curve, and the steps are literally falling off. So I tell him this. I'm like, hey, look, this needs to get fixed. There's a bunch of other stuff, but someone's going to get hurt in these steps. He sends a guy out to look at it. I think the guy wanted to do all the work, and it was going to be more money than he wanted to spend. So he told the guy to pound sand. So that was the end of April, May, June, July. Nothing gets done. I keep asking, oh, nobody wants to do the work. There's no contractors available. You could walk around my little town, and there's contractors everywhere. They're handing out cars. They're looking for work. They're working. So he has another tenant in one of these units that basically he told her she could use my yard, which I basically say I never had a yard because I could never use it. There's always somebody in there. Last year, finally got confirmation that no one else should be using that yard except for one other person who also has been fighting with me to get other people out of that yard. And so this year he gives this other tenant use of the yard, raises my rent. And she starts complaining that I'm spying on her and her kids while they're using my yard. They're right outside my window. She told one of the neighbors this. I told the landlord, told him I'm uncomfortable with her being back there if she's going to say this kind of stuff. He didn't do anything about it. I had security cameras up. She messaged him, told him I'm using the security cameras to spy on her kids, which I sent him a screenshot of the security cameras looking at my back door and my porch door. And that was the last straw. I'd already looked at the place I just moved into. That kind of popped up suddenly. And I really wasn't prepared to move. So I immediately I told him, as soon as he sent me the text message that she was complaining about the camera, I told him, I said, I'm going to take the camera down so you don't have to deal with it, but August is my last month. I'm out. I don't have a lease with him. So August is my last month. So I just started packing everything up nice and gently, like putting it away, putting it in boxes, make sure it was going to labeled and all that. And I was purging all kinds of stuff that I hadn't used in a while, or I didn't need, or selling stuff that was just excess or that I wasn't going to need anymore. And it just, like the house, just the steps kept falling off more, and the neighbor kept getting worse. And last weekend I just loaded everything I have into my Jeep that I could fit in the Jeep and moved it to a new place. And then on Sunday got all the big stuff. There's a few odds and ends in there last night. I went and got that stuff out. But I had to break down everything, my personal stuff and my shop. And just dealing with all that over the past probably month and a half, it's been stressful. So now I'm out. I haven't slept better in my life as I have in a new place that's so peaceful. I've got a backyard. A fence is getting put up to the yards on either side are very close. The new landlord I've known for 20 years, and I told her about what was going on, and she's like, we're going to fence this off so you don't have to worry about it. Won't have to worry about it. So I'll be able to do gear reviews outside in the yard, and I'll be able to test stuff out there, and I'll be able to set the hammock up out there. It's not big, but it's in way better shape. The house is about the same size, but it's laid out better. It makes more sense, so it seems like there's more room. It was just time. 8.5 years in that place, and you can't say I'm not patient. I put up with a lot in that place that never got fixed. That's all over now. So, what a relief. So glad it's over. So if you stuck around for listening to that, thank you. I'm gonna get back to the hike now. So I'm just packing up after my moving rant, and I see a mouse run out here, just runs over, comes up behind me, squeaks at me. I moved my bag. I think he's in it. He's running around out here yelling at me. I don't see him now. Sorry, buddy. Didn't mean to intrude on your home. Oh, that's sorry, more. Where is he? You can hear him under the leaves. I can hear him moving under there. I don't see the leaves moving though. Must be right in it. Must be right in the spot. I'm gonna pack up. I'll leave. Oh, he's over there. There he is. It just saw him in the hole over there. All right, I'll leave him alone. And we'll go down the stairway on the way back. I think what I'll do is I'll head down to the upper deer trail, and that will take me up around to the old farmhouse ruins. There's an old house up there. Well, the foundation is there. At least it was the last time I was there. Who knows what kind of shape it's in now. You'd never even know those were there unless you walked right up on top of them. Just looks like a side of a hill. Back to the upper deer trail, and over the horizon there you can see the lake. I still hear something moving around in these trees. And just because I can't see a porcupine doesn't mean he's not there. All right, let's go find this old farmhouse ruins. Okay, that makes more sense. I don't remember using the upper deer trail to get over here. This trail isn't on the map. I think it connects over just, if I would have kept going up past that gate area where I left the hiking stick, I think this would connect it over to there. That's what I thought, but it's not on the map. This makes more sense. Okay, not far from those ruins now. The old foundation. Another massive pine tree. I gotta see if there's a more updated map, because this trail isn't on the map either. And that's, I think that is the actual upper deer trail loop, I think, but none of this is on the map. It shows I'm just walking in the woods. None of these trails are on it. So I generally don't pay too much attention to the trail maps. I usually use them as a guide, give me an idea of landmarks. But some of these trails have been rerouted, or I don't even know. I don't know how this is that far off. That trail doesn't look like an official trail, but another trail on the map. I downloaded the most recent map right, well, I'm over here. I downloaded the most recent map right from Frances Slocum's website, and it's the one I have. It desperately needs to be updated. The trail map is not even remotely close to being right. So if you're out here, just be aware that the trail map is not showing all the trails that are out here, and they're blazed. There's blaze right there. It's a splotch, but it's blaze. Really weird. Upper Deer Trail. So I know it looks like I'm on that Upper Deer Trail, but I've been out here, and all those other trails that come off of it aren't on here anywhere. But it's clearly the right trail. And it's kind of bizarre. But those ruins are right around the corner here. Oh, another trail, not on the map. I mean, it's not like you can get lost over here. There's a road up here to the left, and the pond's down here to the right. If you lose your place, you just start heading down to the lake and follow the lake back over to the park office. That was blazed yellow. It's painted over. Let's see. Let's hope I got enough battery, because it is kind of dying on me. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see it. It looks pretty grown over. I think it's right here. I think it's right in here. Wow. That tree out there is completely changed. Okay, go this way, I guess. Yeah, I may not be able to see those ruins. Alright, so there's the power line that comes through. Right over my head. Oh wait, right here? Right here. There we are. Sure it's not a tick. So here's an old house foundation. You can see there's like a concrete slab over there. Pretty well squared up corners too. I don't think this is a real old house. Oh, I got a message. Pretty decent size. This is all grown up. I think the last time I was out here you could actually walk around there a little more. If it was fall, there wasn't a chance of it being so ticky. I might do that. But yeah, old farmhouse. And I don't know if you can hear the car just went by up there. We're pretty close to the road. It was probably here when State Park bought the land. And then they probably tore it down, left the foundation there. That cloud's looking that cloud's looking serious. Not supposed to rain today. Although I wouldn't mind. It has been very dry. We could use the rain. And now back out to the old road, whatever this was. And this goes up to, I think it's called Green Road up there. And then back over here to the left somewhere We'll come up to the trail they came in on. I'll just head back out to the car. Well, I've got, what do I got left here? Oh, 8% battery left. So I'll do my closing now. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A little bit of a return trip to take that hiking stick back. Haven't been out here in a while, so it's nice to get out here and do the hike. There's where one of those trails comes down. And got a backpacking trip coming up next weekend. That will be fun. With Dragon and a friend of his who's never gone backpacking before. Here's the trail. So that'll be fun. I think we're going to do part of the AT. That's what we're going to aim for. But that's kind of fluid. It's going to depend on the weather. And if it's going to rain and all that. There's a lot of options. So we got a couple different ideas of what we're going to do. So that will be what I'm doing next weekend. Just an overnighter on the AT. It'll be fun. Oh, and I'm gonna go home, get some food, and get orders cranking back out. I need to take a little reset before I start things up. I did some test sewing last night, just to make sure everything is working the right way, which it appears to be in the new shop, and start cranking those orders out. So thanks for watching. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up. And I'll see you in the next.